Hello, I'm Cassandra Joan Butler. This is Cosmic Connections, and it's your place on Wednesday evenings at 8:30 p.m., 8:33 today, Eastern Daylight Time, to talk about astrology, to share, and to do some spiritual messages. So I welcome you into the group tonight as we talk about what's going on in the world, what's going on with the planets, which is the world, because we live in a one verse, right? The universe. So as above, so below. And that's the teaching, the major lesson of astrology, I do believe. So how is everyone? I hope everyone had a very holy and healthy and fun weekend, no matter what you did. If you cleared out the debris from winter, I was doing that today in the sunshine. Or if you met with friends or family and ate chocolate bunnies, I don't know, or matzah, whatever you did this past weekend, or celebrated Ramadan, which you don't celebrate, you fast, but the celebration comes at the end. So greetings to you all, and I'm coming into you from the Western New York area. I'm Agent 56 at the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, and very proud to be a part of this great crew. I want to remind you, you can obtain the wonderful recording of, I have that in the entranceway there, of Wendy Stacey's wonderful talk. She's an award-winning astrologer. She's highly credentialed and will be doing a marvelous job on the new dawn and the changes that are taking place. So reminder of that. Reminder that I have the link to the Cosmic Intelligence Agency. You might be on the Facebook page for that, but you can always go back to the actual website and obtain your copy of Time Lords magazine. It's a very excellent magazine, a journal that's written by the foremost astrologers on the planet. Hello, Leslie. I just sent you a little hug, by the way, Leslie. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mary. David, nice to see you. The Northern Lights play a major role. You know, David, all bets are off. We've had a lot of solar flares, right? And we like to look at the astronomy of the planet, and I understand the core of the Earth has been spinning, according to astronomers, at a different angle and a different frequency in these many 2 years. Hi, John, Rose. Hello. Thank you for sharing, Rose. And if you would be so kind to share as I am talking, you have an opportunity to win a Lunar Lights Club month. Here's your names in the basket. Your name's in there, Rose. Your name's in there a lot, dear. And so yes, so please share. Sharing is caring on your sites. And Penny and Linda and Wendy, hello, Marianne and Jeannie. Hi, Jeannie. I remember now, Miss Jean of my heart. I miss those good old days of when we meet in public for the church service. Angela, Diane, hi, Caroline. Thank you for being here. So, in any case, hi, Joni, Marianne. Thank you for sharing, Donna. I could say hello to all of you as we're gathering. Hello, big hugs to you all. I really appreciate you being here. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about the United States' chart as well, because I don't know about you, but to paraphrase the surgeon in Louisville, you probably all saw that bit when he was interviewed. We're all more than tired about gun violence and murder and killing. And I have an astrological look-see at the chart. We're going to look at the chart briefly. There's so much to talk about the United States' chart, but we're going to talk about Chiron. We're going to talk about tonight a little bit about Jupiter conjunct the sun, which was yesterday. And I put a tongue-in-cheek offering on my website saying, well, you know, this is the luckiest day of the year. Well, it better be said it was the most expansive day of the year because Jupiter conjunct the sun at 20 degrees yesterday. It was accentuating wherever Aries falls in your chart. And Aries is the big story of 2023, friends, right? I mean, we're talking Aries tonight. We're really going to talk about Aries. We're going to talk about the 2 new moons that we've had this year. We're going to have the big solar eclipse. We're going to talk about the Jupiter in Aries. And we're going to talk about the narcissistic wound as Chiron still continues to go through the sign of Aries. So how are you today and this evening, wherever you may be? So let's take a look at some slides here as we're talking about Aries tonight, the Aries cycle. Right now, we're almost at the last quarter square. So that's going to be the focus for our week's energy, but we're preparing for the mega solar eclipse in Aries at 29 degrees in just, a week and a half. That's on the 20th or the 19th or the 21st, wherever you may be on the planet. That is ushering in a new portal of change, my dear friends. So when we have any eclipse, but especially a solar eclipse in a particular sign, and we haven't had the solar eclipse for 18 years, so we want to go back to 18 years ago and compare and contrast your life then to what's coming up for all of us in the next year and a half. So Aries is the order of the day. What is Aries? Aries is me, myself, and I. Aries is the will to be and to act. Aries energy within our charts is about our identities. It is pure force of nature. Aries is the warrior. Aries is fire, impulsive, fun, and focused. That's so much more when we talk about Aries energy. So right now we are forming an angle in the sky between the sun and the moon. It becomes exact on the 13th of April, again, 5:11 Eastern Daylight Time. Make the translation wherever you may be. And one of the things you might think about from tomorrow for the next week, try to finish up major projects before Mercury goes retrograde, which takes place next week as well. Try to finish up, edit, take care of all those loose ends you've been meaning to do. Because once we're at the solar eclipse, we want to restart and redo. So the idea of this last quarter phase is for us to take our action where we find Capricorn in our charts and use the catapult of Aries to move forward. This particular chart is really interesting, right? So this is going to be taking place tomorrow. The Sabian symbol is a woman entering a convent. And I think that speaks of many things, but mostly about going into silent retreat and counsel within yourself, using the feminine energy within us all, and reflecting, perhaps meditate more, pray more, but just kind of get away from the maddening crowd in the next week and do what you can do to finish up your projects before Mercury goes retrograde. And the moon is opposite Pallas. So Pallas is always about work and advocacy and careers. And so the moon is driving this force to create a more clear foundation of your advocacy or your work. We have a grand trine in water. The south node, Saturn and Mars are forming this beautiful triangle. What's a grand trine? It's when 3 planets are in the same element, and it's kind of an attractive principle. The energy flows between the planets. So it's in water. So that's activating our intuition. It's activating our spirit of attracting compassion and generating and radiating compassion as well. Uranus is conjunct Juno. Now, Juno is the partnership energy. Uranus is surprise. So maybe a question of the week might be, are you surprised with some different situations within your partnerships? Are you surprised because with the South Node is being activated? Are there people from your past old partners, old friends that are knocking on your door or texting you on your phone. So there's this sense of surprise relative to partners and friends this week. All right, so that's another kind of theme for this week as we do the countdown to the big solar eclipse on the 20th of April. Meanwhile, I wanted to say a few words about everyone's exhaustion and everyone's frustration with the US's gun violence. So here's the US's chart. I use the Sibley chart. I think a lot of astrologers started using the Sibley chart, if they didn't before, after 9/11, after 9/11, because 9/11 using the Sibley chart. By the way, Ebenezer Sibley was an astrologer in London. And as the narrative says, that they were actually in communication with the founding fathers, and they were trying to create a more perfect union back on July 4th, 1776, under the wise advice of Ebenezer Sibley, the astrologer from London. So he suggested this particular chart, and that's a whole workshop in and of itself, right? But in any case, back in 1776, we had not yet discovered the asteroid Chiron, which is, of course, the wounded healer, which is in every one of us. The wounded healer represents exactly what it suggests, right? And much more than that. The wound that we carry within ourselves, that when we are mature enough, we start to heal it so we can help other people. So the Chiron of the US is in the fourth house of home and security. And yes, it is getting activated this year. It started getting activated in 2018, quite frankly, but it's going to be continuing its activation for the next couple of years. It's really activated this year because, hello, it's in Aries. So that's the big message of 2023. What's Aries? Aries, among other things, is the initiative of the individual, the rugged individualist. But if you take that too far afield, that can suggest violence, guns, blood. These are all Aries Chiron motifs. Now, Chiron in Aries also represents, because Aries body part is the head. What's in the head? The brain. So keep in mind, one of the discussions with gun violence, I think, should be centermost, and it's near and dear to my personal heart. My first job was in a mental hospital in my social work years, so I have a very strong maybe obligation or affinity towards mental health. It seems that if you take person by person by person, there are problems with their cognition, their mind, what have you. I mean, it's crazy to think about an individual taking violence, not just with serial shootings, but in any case. We know that this last perpetrator in Louisville, there's a lot of scuttlebutt about the fact that he had a lot of concussions during his career as an athlete. So again and again and again, these motifs will be, take a look at the chart. Everything's piled up in the fourth house. What's the fourth house of the US? It's home and security. I mean, and what's more representing home than a banking establishment or a school or a church when you start enumerating all of the violent acts? So this Chiron wound gets activated once every 50 years, and it's being activated now. So a suggestion might be, once we hit the solar eclipse, the red letter day, which is going to be on the 20th. Oh, by the way, Sabian symbol, a boxer entering the ring. The Sabian symbol of Chiron for the US is a boxer entering the ring. All right, fighting. So let's move up to the solar eclipse, the red letter day coming up next week. We'll be talking more at length about the solar eclipse. The Sabian symbol is a duck pond and its brood. And that, my friends, elicits what? Family, home, taking care of our young people, the duck pond and its brood. Please understand that because 2023 has not one, but 2 new moons in Aries, the universe is really driving this Aries point down our throats. So wherever you find Aries, it's been lit up on March 20th and once again on April 20th. The first degree, 0 degrees of Aries, and then the 29th degree next week. This particular solar eclipse is going to be merging its energy, and solar eclipses are often erratic anyway, but it's connected to Eris, the great chaotic outer planet, and Jupiter. Jupiter means big chaos. When we have a solar eclipse next week, and it's all in a line, you can kind of see it on the screen. So please be aware that this is all one narrative continuing, specific to the violence in the US, but perhaps the transformation in your own life, wherever you find Aries. Expect changes, expect a new order of things, expect yourself personally to try to establish your own sovereignty, individuality, without hurting the other people in your life. So that's a fine way to try to come to balance. So with every sign, we have the essence of the sign, Aries, me, myself, and I, which can only be balanced by the opposite sign, which is Libra. Paying attention, having compassion for others, balancing relationships. So the call, if you have too much Aries, you go to the other side and you say, what about the other person in my life, right? So much more I can say. But right now, we have 1 week to finish up a lot of things we started back on March 20th at the first new moon in Aries. We have a lot of work we want to accomplish because Capricorn moon is going to help us get serious about all those loose ends. So this is where it's falling in your charts. All right, if you're Aries, this Capricorn lunation, last quarter square, is falling in your 10th house. And the 10th house has to do with career, responsibility, taking the lead, being a leader, being responsible to your home, family, or your job. If you're Taurus or Taurus rising, this energy is asking you to take responsibility for your words, your teaching by example, perhaps. You don't have to be a teacher to be a teacher, right? You don't have to be a teacher to influence others. So that's the active energy for our Taurus or Taurus rising people. For Gemini, this energy is asking you to take responsibility for your finances, for your power, for your psychological, spiritual power, and look ahead in the future with how you're going to take care of the very, very real responsibilities of financial management. If you are a Cancer or Cancer rising, it's all about the other person, your significant other, your BFF, or people that you're closest with, being a good partner to them. For Leo or Leo rising, take care for your health. Use the responsibility energy of Capricorn to be on it, to exercise, to eat right, to do the self-care trip, and to really take care of you. For Virgo or Virgo rising, you get to play. This next week is all about play and creativity and joy and finding that spark within you to create more joy in your life. For Libra or Libra rising, you may say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to stay home this weekend. I got to clean the house. I got to do the raking. Well, because Libra, this particular energy is in your home house. So pay attention to what your family needs and or what your house or your apartment needs in terms of upkeep. For Scorpio or Scorpio rising, this next energy for the next week is all about your message, your paperwork, your communication, and time management, becoming more aware of the responsibility of time management. For our Saggy friends, Sagittarius rising or sun, it's about your self-worth and value, creating more of an income stream, doing what you can do to bolster your spending and your saving all at the same time. You know, be a smart spender, I should say. All eyes are on the Capricorn or Capricorn rising. It's time for you to shine and display yourself and become more confident and more charismatic and trust your own inner guidance, Capricorn. For Aquarius or Aquarius rising, you might be feeling a little tired this week. That's okay. Cave into it, maybe nap or meditate or retreat from other people. For Pisces or Pisces rising, this energy is saying be responsible to your friends. Your friends may need you more. You may be asked to be in a group or to participate in some sort of activity that's social. Alrighty. Thank you so much for listening. And we're going to do a drawing now of you beautiful people who have been so kind to share. And I do a subscription service called Lunar Lights Club. And the winner of the Lunar Lights Club, oh, he's won before, but why not again? John Linza. Thank you for sharing, John. I'll be in touch with you, friend. John Linza won tonight. Now, if you're wanting to learn a little bit more about astrology, please take advantage of the Lily Dale Cafe, the Astrological Cafe. I put the registration link at the beginning of the webcast. It's Sunday night at 7:30. And we talk about the astrology of the month. So you're very welcome to join me and Reverend Patricia Bell, and we'll be talking astrology in a very casual, fun way. You don't have to be an astrologer to attend. If you're interested in the revolutionary changes afloat, including Pluto being in Aquarius for the next 20 years, suggests for you to attend my revolutionary retreat on April 30th. That's an all-day event, 10 until 5 p.m. at Hampton Inn in Buffalo, New York. If you can't attend, no problem. I'm going to be doing it virtually as well, vis-a-vis this wonderful thing called Zoom, or actually I'm on StreamYard right now, but you'll be in the room. Trust me. Hi, Angela. Hi. Hello, hello. Hi, David. David. Thank you, Rosie, Erica. Lilydale is great. Absolutely. Oh, and Erica, I put the Lilydale link up for y'all. And we have in the room right now, Angela, who's a registered medium. How awesome is Angela? And Lilydale is already having his classes on board. So please check out their offerings for the summer. Fantastic worldwide center. And speaking of worldwide centers, Rodney Scott knows that I'll also be teaching this wonderful summer season at his alma mater, which is Fellowships of the Spirit. So we're really excited about the summer being right around the corner up here in the northern hemisphere, shall I say. Love you too, Angela. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Let's, Grand Try. Great question, Beth. So in astrology, 12 signs, and we have 4 elements: air, fire, earth, and water. So in the sky, when planets are lined up in one of those elements, you have to have 3 of them to create a triangle, right? That is an attractive principle. The energy flows. So in the sky right now, we have the South Node in Scorpio, which means letting go. We have Saturn, which means responsibility. And we have Mars in water forming this triangle. So what this is suggesting to us is that we're taking responsibility for letting go of things, people, situations, attitudes, and ideas that we've outlived. And we're going to take responsibility, and we'll have Mars to give us the action to do that. So here's another question for you. Has anyone out there been doing clutter clearing? I know it's the springtime, so a lot of us do spring cleaning, but I've been getting real down and dirty in my basement. I'm just chucking things and, reusing things and giving stuff to the Goodwill and different places, because I think it's partly because the South Node is on top of my sun, but you all might be feeling that as well. Okay, you have too. You're trying. Hi, Kathy. Great to see you. Yes, clutter clearing, getting rid of a lot, says Angela. You have too. You too, David. Okay. 3 trips to the Goodwill today. You should have stopped by my house, Lynn, and picked up my 2 bags. I forgot. That Penny is as well. See, isn't that interesting? Of course, it's springtime, Cassandra. Everyone's doing this. No. You have to have energy to do that. That's Mars. You have to have Saturn, responsibility. You have to have the South Node saying, time to let go, release. All right, so those are little tidbits. Astrology is intricate, and it's very eloquent, and it's very elegant. It's eloquent because it all kind of fits, right? So if you're more of a water sign, you're really feeling that grand trine. If you're a Scorpio, if you're a Pisces, if you are a Cancer or have special planets in those areas, you're really feeling that grand trine. Okay, so we're all clear between now and next week with the solar eclipse. Let's finish our tasks, because then Mercury's going to be going retrograde. I was invited to go on a podcast today. What am I looking for? My water. And a lovely spiritual friend and colleague was interviewing me. And she asked the question, what is Mercury retrograde all about? And please don't be afraid of it. Retrograde Mercury happens often. It's a third of our lifespan is spent in Mercury retrograde, just like a third of our lifespan is spent sleeping. So don't be afraid of Mercury retrograde any more than you would be afraid of going to sleep at night. It's a time to reboot, reflect, redo, remember, all that stuff. It's an RE time. Okay, let's do some spiritual work. And how that works, I turn on my right brain and allow spirit to speak through me. I only do a couple little reads, so please, if you want to stay for that, please stay. Say a prayer. If you're new to this, it's all very random. I use my thumb. It's the only way I can figure out how to do this. And I just pick a couple of people's names. So, dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light and truth, inspiration and healing for the highest and for the best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. So if you make any comments, then I'll be able to come to your name. That's how that works. All right. So the person I'm coming to is Penny Hudson. Penny, are you still here? Yes? Because I'd like to give you a reading. Penny Hudson. Let me know if you would like to get a message. Yes, getting your garden going. John, that's an awesome thing. I love gardening. Okay, just say yes, Penny. All right. If you're still. Hi, Laura. Okay, thank you for saying yes, Penny. So, Penny, as I'm tuning into your energy, I'm seeing a gentleman in spirit, and he had very rounded features, kind of a moon face, and he had a little girth, he was a little heavy set, but he was very nimble. He would move fast, even though he was what we would call a large gentleman. He had a lot of spring to his step. And I feel he may have passed somewhere in his late 50s, early 60s. And I feel he's a relative. I do not believe he's a father. He could be, but I feel he was close to the family. And he was one of those jocular types of individuals, very joking all the time and very fun. And when he passed quickly. I believe it was from heart. But he is coming in to remind you to don't be, because sometimes he was very, I want to use the word self-conscious of himself, not because of the weight, but because he felt as though he did not accomplish everything he wanted to do in his life. And he's saying one of the things we want to do in our lives, most of all, is to connect with people in a loving way. Because at parties, this guy was fun. Do you recognize this person, Penny? Yet? Okay. And his message for you is that you're a little bit too hard on yourself, that you've been chomping at the bit to, I don't know, get this promotion or do better in an outer world designation. And he says, just relax a little bit and look at how far you've come. Look at your life and see how far you've accomplished. And don't be so hard on yourself. And he's basically saying, make time to smell the roses, because that's his only regret that he had, that he was so reluctant. He had to deal with this shame that I didn't do what I thought I was going to do. And but he's coming in on that linear path again, not a father or not a grandfather, maybe an uncle or a very close friend of the family. I hope you can identify him, Penny. All right. So he's giving you a lot of love and reminding you that it's not what we accomplish in life, but some of the connections we have, and relax and treat yourself with greater appreciation. All right. Leave that with God's blessings. And all right. Who is this? Teresa Speed. And I guess your name came up in the picture here. So I'm with you, dear Teresa. I like your name. I like your last name. I like the first name too. The Little Flower. Let me kind of tune in here for you, Teresa. As I'm tuning in to you, it's kind of interesting. I said the little flower, because when I said that, I became aware that you are someone who is perhaps a gardener or loves plants, but also aromatherapy or flower essences. And that you love to use nature in your healing of yourself and with others. I'm not necessarily saying you're a professional aromatherapist, but you love the beauty and the joy that flowers bring to people. And then as I'm saying that, you had some allergies as a kid. I think you've overcome them to pollen and so forth. What's happening right now with you? I'm seeing a timeline. I'm seeing that the solar eclipse that takes place next week on Thursday, depending on where you are in the world, is going to be a great opportunity for you to assert your truth in a relationship. There may be something that you've been hemming and hawing about, not wanting to hurt someone's feelings, but you need to get something communicated to a partner or a family member that's been on your mind, at least for the past couple of months, at least since January, I believe. And when you are able to sit down, you'll feel very relieved, because what your concern was when you meet with this person after the 20th, please. And so by the 5th of May, after the full moon lunar eclipse, you're going to have a great weight off your shoulders. It's something interpersonal that's of a concern to you, and just be your sweet, sincere self and be brave in this conversation. That's the message from Spirit. Speak your piece. And please know that your truth and the way you communicate is always coming from the heart, and it's very nurturing. It's almost as if when we are coming from a place of great honesty, then we don't worry about the outcome, because we're coming from sincerity. But this is something you've been thinking about and thinking about and thinking about. And so an opportunity presents itself to have this truth conversation between the 20th. And so by the 5th of May, there's a sense of, oh, okay, everything is reconciled or more peaceful or more balanced with this important relationship in my life. So I wonder, and I hope that makes sense to you, Teresa. Okay. There. Great to see you all, friends. Always a pleasure to see you on Wednesday nights. Again, a couple reminders. If you are an astrological seeker, I can't say enough about the Cosmic Intelligence Agency classes, workshops, articles, Time Lord magazine. I put the website on the entrance of this webinar tonight. And please be a part of the crew, right? It's a great opportunity to learn astrology from worldwide astrological minds that are very loving and generous with their teaching. Number two, if you are And again, these are all virtual events. Lilydale has a Lilydale Cafe, the Astrology Cafe. It's this Sunday, 7:30 Eastern Daylight Time. The registration link is on the beginning of this webinar. And if you want to come to my retreat, please do. The Revolutionary Retreat. We're talking about Pluto in Aquarius, and we're talking about the eclipses and how they herald a new beginning for us all in the sign of Aries, and also the lunar eclipse on 5/5. So good to see you all. Have a great week, and get that work done before Mercury goes retrograde, right? So God bless. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Janet. Thank you, David, Rose, everybody. Many, many blessings to you all. Be well.